Hello students, welcome to 9th standard biology class. Today's topic Unit 21 Nutrition and Health. Before getting to the lesson, let me ask you one question. What are the basic needs of human being? Yes, food, shelter and clothing. Among these, food is the basic necessity of life. Without food, no organism can survive. What is meant by food? Food can be defined as any substance of either plant or animal origin which is consumed for providing nutritional support of an organism. The food contains all the essential nutrients. It provides us energy. Nutrients are the substances which provide nourishment for the growth and development. Nourishment means the food you need to grow and stay healthy. So food is necessary for the normal growth and development of the body. Food helps us to repair the worn out of tissues and also it protects us from diseases. What type of food should we eat? We should eat healthy and hygienic food. What is meant by healthy food? The food should contain all the essential nutrients in the right proportion, that is balanced diet. What will happen if you eat unhygienic food? Unhygienic means the food contaminated with microorganisms. If you eat contaminated food, it will lead to diseases like infections or food poisoning. So food safety is the major concern nowadays. So we need to preserve the food. What is meant by food preservation? The process of preserving food from spoilage or decay. In this topic, we are going to learn about the classification of nutrients, the functions and the deficiency disorders of vitamins and minerals and different methods of food preservation. First, classification of nutrients. The nutrients are classified into 5 major groups. They are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. The nutrients are classified into 5 major groups. They are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. The nutrients are classified into 3 types based on the function. They are energy giving food, body building food and essential food. Carbohydrate and fat are classified as energy giving food. Protein is the body building food. Vitamins and minerals are essential food. First, let's focus on carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the organic compounds. It is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio of 1:2:1. Carbohydrate is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. It provides us energy. So, carbohydrate is the chief source of energy. There are different carbohydrates. For example, glucose, sucrose, lactose, starch, cellulose. These are the example of carbohydrates. Based on the number of sugar molecules present, the carbohydrates are classified into 3 types. They are monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharide. Based on the number of sugar molecules present, the carbohydrates are classified into monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharide. Mono means single. Saccharide means sugar. So, single sugar. This monosaccharide contains single sugar. Example, glucose. It contains only one sugar molecule. Example, glucose. Disaccharide. Di means two sugar molecules. Example, sucrose. Polysaccharides. Poly means many, more than 2. Polysaccharide contains more than 2 sugar molecules. Example, cellulose. Based on the number of sugar molecules present, the carbohydrates are classified into monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharide. Monosaccharide means only one sugar molecule is present. Example, glucose. Disaccharide means 2 sugar molecules present. Example, sucrose. Polysaccharide means many, more than 2 sugar molecules present. Example, cellulose. Now let's see what are the dietary sources of the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate எந்த food substanceலாம் நிறைய இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கலாம். Honey, sugarcane, fruits, whole grains, starchy vegetables. Starchy vegetables example potato. These food substances contain lot of carbohydrate. Then what is the daily requirement of the carbohydrate? per day, a person needs 150 to 200 grams of carbohydrate in his diet. What is the daily requirement of the carbohydrate? 150 to 200 grams per day. And the next essential nutrient is proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of the body. Proteins are the building blocks of the body. Protein is essential for the growth and repair of cells and tissues of the body. Proteins are made up of amino acids. Proteins are made up of amino acids. Some of the amino acids cannot be biosynthesized by our body. It should be obtained from the diet. Such amino acids are called essential amino acids. Such amino acids are called essential amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids which should be obtained through the diet. They are phenylalanine, valine, threonine, tryptophan, methionine, leucine, isoleucine, lysine and histidine. These are essential amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids. Now let's see the dietary sources of the protein. Proteins are rich in pulses, legumes, nuts, soya beans, green leafy vegetables, fish, poultry products, egg, milk and the dairy products. And what is the daily requirement of the protein? A person should contain 40 grams of protein in his diet. A person should take 40 grams of protein in his diet per day. And the next essential nutrient is fat. Fat is the energy giving food. Fat provides us energy. What is the function of fat? Fats maintain the cell structure and it involved in the metabolic functions. Fat maintain the cell structure, it involved in the metabolic functions. Like proteins, the essential fatty acids cannot be synthesized by our body. It should be obtained through the diet. Such fatty acids are known as essential fatty acids. Such fatty acids are known as essential fatty acids. In human body, omega fatty acids are required. In human body, omega fatty acids are required. It is an example of essential fatty acid. Now let's see the dietary sources of the fat. Fat is present in the food substances like egg yolk, saturated oil and milk. Egg yolk, saturated oil and milk. Daily requirement. A person should have at least 35 grams of fat in his diet per day. 35 grams is the daily requirement of fat in the diet. Vitamins are the vital nutrients which are required in smaller quantity to perform various physiological and biochemical functions of the body. The term vitamin was first introduced by Dr. Fung. The term vitamin was first introduced by Dr. Fung. Based on the solubility, the vitamins are classified into 2 types. They are fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. The vitamins which are dissolved in the fat and oil are known as fat soluble vitamins. Example, the vitamin A, D, E and K are fat soluble vitamins. The vitamins which dissolve in the water are known as water soluble vitamins. Vitamin B complex and C are the water soluble vitamins. Based on the solubility, the vitamins are classified into 2 types. They are fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. The vitamins which dissolve in the fat and oil are known as fat soluble vitamins. Vitamin A, D, E and K are fat soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins, the vitamins which is soluble in water. The vitamins B complex and the C are the water soluble vitamins. First we are going to learn about fat soluble vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins can dissolve in fats and oils. These vitamins are absorbed along with the fats in the diet and can be stored in the body's fatty tissue. The first one is vitamin A. Vitamin A is also known as retinol. It was given the first alphabet A because it was the first discovered vitamin. Now let's see what are the functions of vitamin A. Vitamin A produces pigments in the retina of the eye, so it is important for the good eyesight. And also it promotes growth. It is essential for the protein synthesis. It maintains the normal growth and the shape of the bones. Now let's see what are the sources of vitamin A. Vitamin A is present in carrot, papaya, leafy vegetables, fish liver oil, egg yolk, liver and dairy products. And the deficiency disorders of vitamin A are xerophthalmia. Xerophthalmia means a dryness of cornea of the eye. That the symptoms are reddening and dryness and lusterless condition of the eye. And the next one is nyctalophia. Nyctalophia means night blindness, unable to see in the night, that is dim light, and a scaly skin. That is also the symptoms of vitamin A deficiency. And the next fat soluble vitamin is vitamin D. It is also known as calciferol. It improves the bone strength by helping the body to absorb the calcium. It also helps in the absorption of phosphate. It is essential for the normal development of bones and teeth. The sources of vitamin D are egg, liver, dairy products. Human skin can synthesize vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, especially in the early morning. When the sun rays falls in the skin, dehydrocholesterol, it is present in the skin, it is converted into vitamin D. So, vitamin D is also known as sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D deficiency leads to rickets in children. குழந்தைகளுக்கு rickets என்ற நோய் வரும். The symptoms of rickets are bow legs, defective ribs, development of pigeon chest. கால் எலும்புகள் வளைந்து காணப்படும். மார்பு எலும்புகள் குறைபாடோட வளர்ச்சி இருக்கும். அதே போல் பிஜியன் புறா போல மார்பு எலும்புக்கூடுகள் இருக்கும். And the next fat soluble vitamin is vitamin E. It is also known as tocopherol. The functions of vitamin E is, it is an antioxidant. It is essential for the normal reproduction of rats. It is essential for the normal functioning of the muscles. The sources of vitamin E are whole wheat, meat, vegetable oil and milk. The deficiency of vitamin E causes sterility in rats, reproductive abnormalities. The symptoms of sterility. Sterility means unable to reproduce. And the next fat soluble vitamin is vitamin K. It is a derivative of quinone. This vitamin is essential for the clotting of the blood. So, it is called anti-hemorrhagic vitamin. Leafy vegetables, soya beans and milk are the sources of vitamin K. Blood clotting is prevented due to the deficiency of vitamin K. That means excessive bleeding due to the delayed blood clotting. And now let's see water soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins are dissolved in water. These vitamins are carried to the body's tissues but are not stored in the body. The first water soluble vitamin is vitamin B1. It is also known as thiamine. This vitamin helps to change the carbohydrate into energy. Vitamin B1 is essential for the muscle contraction and conduction of the nerve impulses. The vitamin B1 is richly present in the food sources like whole grains, yeast, eggs, liver and sprouted pulses. The deficiency of vitamin B1 causes the disease beriberi. The symptoms are degenerative changes in the nerves. Degenerative changes in the nerves na நரம்புகள் சிதைவுறுதல் அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Muscles become weak. Paralysis. Paralysis means loss of muscle function in any part of our body. It can be either temporary or permanent. Paralysis na தசை செயலிழப்பு. And the next water soluble vitamin is vitamin B2. It is also known as riboflavin. Vitamin B2 helps to break down the proteins, fats and carbohydrate. It plays a vital role in maintaining the body's energy supply. It converts the carbohydrate into ATP. The sources of vitamin B2 are milk, eggs, liver, green vegetables and whole grains. Deficiency of vitamin B2 causes the disease called araboflavinosis. It is also known as chylosis. The symptoms of araboflavinosis are irritation in eyes, dry skin, inflammation of lips, fissures in the corners of the mouth. And the next water soluble vitamin is vitamin B3. Its chemical name is niacin. This vitamin helps in the normal functions of the nervous system and also helps in normal psychological function. It also reduces the tiredness and fatigue of the body. The sources of the vitamin B3 are milk, egg, liver, lean meat, groundnut and bran. Branna umi அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Lean meatனா fat கம்மியாக இருக்கிற meat. The deficiency of vitamin B3 causes the disease called pellagra. The symptoms of pellagra are inflammation of skin, loss of memory and diarrhea. Next water soluble vitamin is vitamin B6. Its chemical name is pyridoxine. This vitamin helps to make antibodies. The antibodies are needed to fight many diseases. It maintains a normal nerve function. It makes hemoglobin. It breaks down the proteins, keep the blood sugar in normal ranges. The sources of vitamin B6 are meat, fish, eggs, germs of grains and cereals, rice polishings. Rice polishingனா தவிடு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா அது. Deficiency of vitamin B6 causes the disease dermatitis. The symptoms of dermatitis are scaly skin, nervous disorders. Next water soluble vitamin is vitamin B12. It is also known as cyanocobalamin. This vitamin keeps the body's nerve and blood cells healthy and helps to make DNA. It prevents a disease called anemia. The sources of vitamin B12 are milk, meat, liver, pulses, cereals and fish. Deficiency of vitamin B12 causes pernicious anemia. Decrease in red blood cell production is a symptoms of pernicious anemia and also degeneration of spinal cord. தண்டுவட நரம்பு குறைபாடுகள். Next water soluble vitamin is vitamin C. Its chemical name is ascorbic acid. Vitamin C is needed for the growth and repair of tissues in all parts of our body. It is used to form an important protein used to make skin, tendons, ligaments and blood vessels. This vitamin C helps to heal wounds and form the scar tissues. The sources of vitamin C are leafy vegetables, sprouts, citrus fruits like gooseberry, amla and lemon, orange. Deficiency of vitamin C causes the disease called scurvy. The symptoms of scurvy are swollen and bleeding gums, delayed in healing of wounds, teeth and bones are malformed. Minerals are inorganic substances required as an essential nutrient by organisms to perform various biological functions necessary for life. They are the constituents of teeth, bones, tissues, blood, muscles and nerve cells. Based on the requirement, the minerals are classified into two types. They are macrominerals and microminerals. Macrominerals are macronutrients are required in larger quantity. They are calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium and magnesium. Microminerals is also known as trace elements. Microminerals or micronutrients are required in smaller quantity. They are sulfur, iron, chlorine, cobalt, copper, zinc, manganese, molybdenum, iodine and selenium. Now let's learn about minerals. First is macronutrients or macrominerals. The first one is calcium. The dietary sources of calcium are dairy products, beans, cabbage, egg and fish. Calcium is an important constituent of bones and enamel of teeth. It is essential for the clotting of the blood and controls the muscle contraction. Deficiency of calcium causes bone deformities, poor skeletal growth. Osteoporosis in adults. Osteoporosis is the condition that bones become weak and brittle. Brittle means easily broken. Bone is a living tissue. Inside the bone, small honeycomb-like space is present. Due to osteoporosis, the size of this space increases, which causing the bone lose strength and density. And also, outside of the bone grows weaker and thinner. So, the bones become very weak and fragile. This is due to the deficiency of calcium. And the next macronutrient is sodium. The dietary sources of sodium is common salt. Sodium maintains the fluid balance and involves in the neurotransmission. Deficiency of sodium causes muscular cramps. Muscular cramps means sudden and involuntary contraction of one or more muscles. தசை பிடிப்பு. Nerve impulses do not get transmitted. Nerve impulses means electrical signals that travel along a nerve fiber. And the next macronutrient is potassium. The dietary source of potassium are banana, sweet potato, nuts, whole grains and citrus fruits. The functions of potassium is regulates nerve and muscle activity. The deficiency of potassium in our diet causes muscular fatigue. Fatigue means extreme tiredness due to mental or physical illness. தசை சோர்வு அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். And nerve impulse do not get transferred. Nerve impulse means the electrical signals that travel along a nerve fiber. Now let's see the micronutrients. The first one is iron. Iron is richly present in the food sources like spinach, dates, greens, broccoli, whole cereals, nuts, fish and liver. Iron is an important component of hemoglobin. Deficiency of iron causes the disease anemia. Anemia occurs when you have a decreased level of hemoglobin in your red blood cells. Hemoglobin is the protein in our red blood cell that is responsible for carrying oxygen to our cells. Iron is the important component of hemoglobin. Lack of iron in our diet causes the decreased level of hemoglobin. So, our body cells can't get the enough amount of oxygen it needs. This condition is known as anemia. The symptoms of anemia are fatigue, weakness, pale skin and headache. And the next micronutrient is iodine. Iodine is richly present in milk, seafood and iodized salt. Iodine is essential for the formation of the thyroxine hormone. Deficiency of iodine causes the disease called goiter, the swelling of the thyroid gland in the neck region. Protein energy malnutrition, PEM. Absence of certain nutrients in our daily diet over a long period of time leads to deficiency diseases. This condition is referred as malnutrition. Deficiency of protein and energy lead to severe conditions like kwashiorkor and marasmus. Kwashiorkor. It is a condition of severe protein deficiency. It is also called protein malnutrition. புரதச்சத்து குறைபாடு. It affects children between 1 to 5 years of age whose diet mainly consists of carbohydrate but lack in proteins. Delayed growth in children, a swollen stomach, fatigue, loss of appetite, bloating or diarrhea are the symptoms of kwashiorkor. Marasmus is also one of the protein malnutrition. It usually affects infants below the age of 1 year when the diet is poor in carbohydrate, fat and proteins. Weight loss, dehydration and chronic diarrhea are the symptoms of marasmus. And the next topic is food hygiene. Food spoilage is an undesirable change in the state of food which is not fit for human consumption. Poor personal hygiene may lead to the contamination of pathogenic microorganisms and which cause the food spoilage. The signs of food spoilage are appearance, color, texture, odor. Odor means smell and taste. நம்ம உணவு கெட்டு போயிடுச்சு அப்படின்னா நம்ம இதை வச்சு தான் நம்ம கண்டுபிடிப்போம் இல்லையா. அதோட அப்பியரன்ஸ் மாறி இருக்கும், கலர் மாறி இருக்கும், அதோட ஸ்மெல் மாறி இருக்கும், அதோட டேஸ்ட் வந்து வித்தியாசமாக இருக்கும். ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் த சைன்ஸ் ஆஃப் த food spoilage. Then what are the factors which involves the process of food spoilage? The factors is of two types. They are internal factors and the external factors. The internal factors are enzymatic activity and the moisture content. Some of the enzymes present in the food material like fruits, it may leads to food spoilage. For example, the blackening of the apple and the banana. These are the examples of the enzymatic activity. And then moisture content, food la irukra and the ஈரப்பதம் which leads to food spoilage. Then what are the external factors? Adulterants. Adulterants means contamination of food with the undesirable substances. And then contaminated utensils. Utensils means vessels. சுத்தமில்லாத பாத்திரங்கள் அண்ட் எக்யூப்மெண்ட்ஸ். அன்ஹைஜீனிக் குக்கிங் ஏரியா, சுத்தமில்லாத இடத்துல சமையல் பண்ணுறது. லேக் ஆஃப் ஸ்டோரேஜ் ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ், எக்ஸஸ் ஃபுட் மெட்டீரியல். இஃப் த ஸ்டோரேஜ் ஃபெசிலிட்டி இஸ் நாட் ப்ராப்பர், த ஃபுட் மே கெட் ஸ்பாயில். In order to prevent the food spoilage, we need to preserve the food. What is meant by food preservation? Food preservation is the process of prevention of food from decay or spoilage by storing in a condition fit for future use. The food is preserved for the following reasons. First one, increase the shelf life of food. Shelf life means time for which the food can keep fresh. Retain the color, texture, flavor and nutritive value. Increase food supply, decrease the wastage of food. Now let's see the different methods of food preservation. The first one is drying. Drying na ularthal. Drying is the process of preservation of food by removal of water or moisture content in the food. There are three types of drying. First one is sun drying and vacuum drying and hot air drying. The food like cereals and fishes can be dried by sun drying method. And milk powder, cheese can be preserved by vacuum drying method. Fruits like grapes, dry fruits and potato flakes can be preserved by hot air drying. In this method, the drying inhibits the growth of microorganisms such as bacteria, yeast and mold. Smoking is the one of the food preservation method. In this process, the food products like meat, fish are exposed to smoke. The drying action of the smoke tends to preserve the food. Irradiation is the modern food processing method. In this method, the food is exposed to optimum level of ionizing radiations like X-rays, gamma rays and UV rays. This kills the harmful bacteria and pest which is present in the food and preserve the freshness of the food. Cold storage. It is the most common method of food preservation. Foods such as vegetables, fruits, milk and milk products. In this method, the food are stored in the low temperature. Preserving the food products at low temperature slows down the biological and chemical reactions and prevents its spoilage. Freezing is one of the widely used methods of food preservation. This process involves storing the food below 0 degrees Celsius, in which microorganisms cannot grow. Chemical reactions are reduced and metabolic reactions are delayed. And the next method is pasteurization. From your lower class onwards, you are learning about pasteurization. Pasteurization is the process of heat treatment of liquid food products. Example, for preservation of milk and beverages. This process involves boiling of milk to a temperature of 63 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes and suddenly cooling to destroy the microbes present in the milk. Canning. In this method of food preservation, most vegetables, fruits, meat and dairy products, fruit juices and some ready to eat foods are processed and stored in a clean, steamed, airtight containers under pressure and then sealed. It is then subjected to high temperature and cooled to destroy all microbes. Addition of preservatives is also one of the methods of food preservation. Food can be preserved by adding natural and synthetic preservatives. The first one is natural preservatives. Some naturally available materials like salt, sugar and oil are used as food preservatives. The first one is addition of salt. It is one of the oldest method of preservation of food. Addition of salt removes the moisture content in the food by the process of osmosis. What is meant by osmosis? The water molecules move from the region of higher water concentration to the region of lower water concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. This prevents the growth of bacteria and reduces the activity of microbial enzymes. Meat, fish, gooseberry, lemon, raw mangoes are preserved by salting. Salt is also used as a preservative in pickles, canned foods, etc. Addition of sugar. Sugar or honey is added as a preservative to increase the shelf life of fruits and fruit products like jams, jellies, squash, etc. What is meant by shelf life? Time for which food can kept fresh. The hygroscopic nature of sugar or honey. Hygroscopic nature means the property of absorbing moisture from the air. The hygroscopic nature of the sugar or honey helps in reducing the water content of food and also minimizing the process of oxidation in fruits. Oil is one of the natural preservative. Addition of oil in pickles prevents the contact of air with the food. Hence, microorganisms cannot grow and spoil the food. Synthetic preservatives. Synthetic food preservatives like sodium benzoate, citric acid, vinegar, sodium metabisulfate and potassium bisulfate are added to the food products like sauce, jams, jellies, packed foods and ready to eat foods. These preservatives delay the microbial growth and keep the food safe for long duration. Students, synthetic preservatives are not good for health. So, avoid eating such preservatives added foods. It will affect your health. So, eat healthy, stay strong. Students, today you have learnt the classification of nutrients, the functions and the deficiency disorders of vitamins and minerals and different methods of food preservation. I hope you all understood the lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day.